So you want to be a funded trader. You don't have enough money to start your own account, so you're doing these prop firm challenges, but you keep on failing, and you have no idea why. Well, the truth is, when I look at trading, I look at it from two possible viewpoints. I look at it from strategy, and I look at it from mental psychology. And a lot of people say it's like an 80-20 split, 50-50. I think it's about 60% mental, 40% strategy. So, over half, like everybody has their own strategy. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But, the taking profits, the taking losses, the dealing with that, the over trading is way more important than any strategy. Most people can find a strategy that works in the market, and once you have that, you should be golden. But people will have brilliant strategies marked out, do all this work, do all this research, and then fold when it's time to come to the market or, pass a prop firm challenge. So I'm here to explain to you 6 rules, my 6 fundamental rules to passing a prop firm. I passed 4 already. Here's one of the, oh my goodness, here's one of the certificates of 4 that I've passed. And if you want to know the strategy, I'm giving you, by the way, free. Nobody's charging you out here. I do this shit for free. So if you want the 40%, the strategy, check out my last video. I just did back testing on Thursday's session, and I showed you my strategy. So if you want my strategy, if you want to be profitable, then I'm literally giving you 100% of what I do as a profitable trader. I'm giving you the mental side here, and I just gave you my strategy in the last video. So if you want to know what I do and you want to know the entire spiel or whatever, then check out the last video for the strategy. And here we are. Let's get into the 6 rules. So here we go. All right, 6 rules. I put 5, but it's actually 6. Here it is. Stocks for Studs, 6 rules to pass your prop firm challenge. Number 1, A+ setups only. So when I say A+, I mean I don't give a shit if liquidity got swept. I like that you can't only trade liquidity. You can't only trade a fair value gap getting respected, because everybody's trading that, and someone has to lose in the market, and you don't want it to be you. For example, let's go, because screw it, right? We're on the 1 minute time frame here. As you can see, this inverse fair value gap, we had this fair value gap right here, and it gets inverse. That's my strategy. Oh, we should enter shorts, right? Wrong. Look at where we are. We're in the middle of a range. No liquidity has been swept or anything like that. Bias is bullish. You should not go short here. So you want A+ setups only, aka setups that have liquidity on your side, bias for the day on your side, and an inverse fair value gap, which once again is my strategy that I teach in the video before this. So check that out. So A+ setups only. That's number 1. Number 2, for passing your prop firm, don't overtrade. That's what everybody does. If you lose money, which I'm going to get to in a few steps, if you lose money, you're only going to dig yourself into a deeper hole if you keep trading. You should have a limit on trades, just like you have a limit on profits and losses, which are my next 2 steps. If you're trading more than 3 times a day, I don't care if there's 10 A+ setups. I don't care if there's 10 A+ setups, like I said in rule 1. You're trading 3 times a day, because even if you think it's an A+ setup, it might not be. So overtrading is absolutely one of the biggest problems that I see, and it's why so many people lose, because they'll have specific goals in mind, or they won't be happy with profits. They just start overtrading because they're trying to see something, and that's how you begin the end. Number 3, profit goal, 300 to 500 a day. Let's say you're getting a 50K account from Top Step or Apex, which is the 2 that I've traded. If you want to pass a 50K account, you got to make 3K in profits. $500 a day is a lot of money. If you make $500 a day, then what is that, 6? It only takes you 6 trading days to pass the funded. That is very short. People think, oh, I'll just pass this funded in like 2 days. I'll just get a 1.5K days twice in a row. No, there's no reason to do that, because you realize if you're putting in enough money to make 1.5K in a trade, that's also enough money to lose your entire fucking challenge in one day. So your profit goal should be set to $300 to $500 a day, because it's building blocks. Just like how we go to now step 4, your max loss should be $300 to $400 a day, or $250 per trade. If you're in a trade, you should have your risk to reward absolutely balanced out. So for example, this inverse fair value gap that I showed you. Let's say I'm going short at the close of the candle. If I'm going short, yes, I'm targeting recent liquidity or a recent sweep, and my stop loss cannot be up here. That's literally that's a horrible reward ratio, risk to reward ratio. It cannot be, down here because it gives you no room to work. You're going to get stopped at immediately. With this trade, obviously it's a bad trade, so you're going to get stopped at no matter what. But think about it. If you are trying for like a 2 RR or something like that, like right here, let's say, yes, you get stopped out, but this isn't your whole account. If you're giving yourself room to run, like, oh, it's fine, who cares about this ratio? It doesn't matter anyway. Okay, there goes your account. Your move doesn't happen like you thought it would. Your profits don't even come near happening. Like, literally, you wouldn't have profited on this for the rest of the day, and you get stopped out. You need to have a limit on your losses just like you have a limit on your gains. So your profit goal should be 300 to 500 a day, while your max loss should be 300 to 400. Because think about it. Let's say you absolutely sell. You're like, oh my God, I just lost 250 on one trade, and now I just lost 150 on another. Like I lost 400 today because, my strategy or my mental wasn't good. Remember, with these prop firm challenges, you have to lose $2,000. Meaning, if you lose $400 in a day, you need to do that 4 more times in a row in order to lose the account. So one bad day, $400 is just like this. This profit goal only takes you about 6 days to achieve. This takes you 5 horrible losing days in a row to lose. That's hard to do. If people lose their prop firms because they're getting stopped out, they're hitting the max loss, they're losing $1,000 in a day. Obviously, if you lose half of what you're allowed to lose in a day, you're not going to be in a good position. But if you're losing 1/5 of it, that's not as bad. Now, this is a big one. Paper trading 5 times a day. And I'm not talking about paper trading A+ setups. I'm talking about A's, B's, C's. Like, you want to test absolutely everything. This would be a horrible setup, but I would still paper trade it if I were you. Paper trade it live so that, if you get a setup there like this isn't an A+ setup, so I'm just going to paper trade it. Like, literally, I'll be watching the market and I'll be like, oh, this is a trash setup. Let's just see what happens. So I will literally get my profit, my RR tool, my short position out, and I will watch and I'll be like, okay, it lost. Now let's see why it lost. Everything is a learning experience. If you're paper trading, there's no risk. All you're doing is learning. The upside is huge. You're not losing any money. You're not gaining any money. All you're doing is gaining information because you're like, okay, I just took this trade and got killed. Why? I just took this A+ setup and it went crazy. Now I know, I didn't make any money, but now I know in the future what setup to look out for, right? That's why it's so huge. So paper trading is super important because you don't lose any money and you gain a lot of value and a lot of knowledge. And last but not least, backtest or study for an hour a day. If you go to my last video, I just backtested this Thursday session. It's a day later and I'm backtesting the day before. A lot of people say don't live in the past. If you're trying to get funded as a trader, you literally only have to live in the past because that's what you learned from. You don't learn from live markets, the live market. I'm not going to learn how to trade Monday during the session. I got to learn beforehand so that I'm prepared, so that I have these levels drawn, so that I know what to look for in my strategy. I do not care about what's going on live because I should already know what's going to happen based on what happened before. I look at my charts from before, this is how I was backtesting. This vertical line in my last video, I go more into it, but I have all these price movements that I have picked out so that the next day I can see how they interact and play shorts or longs any time. So that's why backtesting is so important because it's like, okay, I have this strategy and I think it works. Why would you ever just go into the market thinking that your strategy works without ever actually testing it out? I backtest. That's why I pick the strategies I have. I backtest 3 strategies last week. One of them was like a 50% win rate. One of them was like a 70, and one of them was an 85. Which one do you think I use the most? Exactly. Backtesting really is key. It's a great indicator of a person who actually wants to be successful at trading because they're willing to put in the work. Study. I was just watching YouTube videos before this. This guy, 88%. It's just a strategy that I trade. It's a great future strategy. I was studying it because I was like, okay, he's back testing. Why is he taking potential trades that I may not? And, what is he doing differently that I can possibly do? Because there's always going to be someone that knows more than you. So, if you're studying, if you're putting the work in, putting the time in, then there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to learn the market and learn your trading strategy. So once again, just to summarize, we got 1, A+ setups only. So liquidity, inverse fair value gap, which I go into in my last video, and daily bias. 2, no more than 3 trades a day. 3, your profit goal should be 300 to 500. If it's a choppy day and you make 300 on one trade, get out of there. All right, that's a good day. If you make $300, if someone were to come up to you every morning and go, here you go, 1, 2, 3. There's $300 bills every morning. That's pretty amazing, right? And if you think about it, there's 252 trading days. If you make 300 a day, that's $75,000. And if you make 500 a day, that's what, 115, 126. Pretty insane. So then max loss 300 to 400 a day. Remember, that's strict 250 a trade. So if you lose 250 on your first trade, you should only be putting up 150 to 150 loss on your second one. Paper trading 5 times a day, always key. And then this one kind of goes with that, just studying, back testing, learning, watching mentors, stuff like that. That's how you're going to pass your prop firm and be a profitable trader, because you'll have that buying power and you'll have the strategy. Because like I said, 60% mental, 40% strategy. I gave you the strategy last video. There's the discipline in this video. Follow these steps, do the strategy, and I guarantee you will pass your prop firm. And remember, all of what I just told you is free. You didn't pay anything. You just clicked the YouTube video. So all I ask is a like and a subscription. And if you want to join my free Discord, once again, free. I give out free options plays as well as mentorships, voice channels, so discussions on everything, futures trading ideas, and more stuff like this. DM the Instagram in the description, and I will send you the link. So yeah, have a good one and good luck.